Okay, so we're going to look at the practice quiz that's up on the Google Classroom. What I want to emphasize to you is how you should be doing these problems to make sure that you're getting the right answer. So it's not so much I'm going over, hopefully the concept at this time is okay, but we want to make sure that your exam answer is as precise as possible. So let's see what we got here. We want to go find the surface area of this figure. So in order to do this, I think you'd agree, I have two pieces I'm going to be adding. I'm going to be adding the lateral area of the cone, or the lateral surface area of that cone, plus the surface area of that hemisphere, right, that half sphere. So let's see, I'm going to break this up into two pieces. So I've got my lateral area of my cone, which I think you'd agree our formula is pi r L, where L is the slant height. And then I have the hemisphere. I'm just going to put down hemi. And that formula is, so if it normally is, right, if a sphere is 4 pi r squared, half of it would be 2 pi r squared. So 2 pi r squared. Okay, so first off, I need to go and figure out what is L. L is the slant height. So let's see, 33 squared plus 56 squared equals L squared. When you go and do this, right, once you finish solving for the slant height, you're going to get L is 65. Okay, so finding the lateral surface area of my figure, I get pi times the radius, which is 33, which is 33, times the lateral height, which is 65. So that cleans up into 33 times 65, which is 2145 pi. For now, it's very important that you keep things in terms of pi. You do not want to turn it into a decimal until the very end of this problem, okay? So again, keep it in, I cannot stress this enough. You want to keep this in terms of pi until the last step. Okay, so, you'll see exactly when I turn this into pi. So let's do the hemispheres. The hemisphere is 2 pi, and this is 33 squared. So let's see, 33 squared times 2 is 2178 pi. Okay, so now in order to find the total surface area, right, I'm going to add these two figures together. So my total is going to be 2145 pi plus 2178 pi. Now, let's clean that up. 2145. So I'm going to double check this one more time before I move on. 4323 pi. I want to actually make sure I plug those in right. 2145 plus 2178 is 4. Okay, pi. Now, that's our exact value. Okay, it's very important that you get to here, even though I'm asking it around to the nearest tenth, because at this point, now that you have your exact value for the total area, you're going to convert this to pi. Sorry, you're going to convert this to a decimal, rounded to the nearest tenth. It's very important you use the pi button on your calculator. All your calculators have a pi button. Do not use the 3.14. Use the actual pi button, okay? So on my calculator, I'm literally going to say 4323 times whatever my time symbol is, right, times pi. So I'm going to use that pi button. Again, if I don't use that pi button, I'm going to be off and you're going to be wrong because you have to be accurate to the nearest tenth. So let's do this. So this is times pi. Where's my pi button? There it is. And I get 13581 point. I'm just going to show you exactly what I get. 10. This is on my calculator what I'm getting, but I want to remind you, you're asked to round to the nearest tenth. So in this case, what I would be putting in is 13581.1. This is my answer, okay? That is the most precise answer that you can give based on the directions. where the directions are asking you to round to the nearest tenth. Again, it is important that you are precise because precision is a very important part of mathematics. Okay, so again, let me just emphasize one more time what I'm looking for here. After you have found your surface areas in terms of pi, right? You want to have your exact answer. Okay? Normally, if this was a normal paper test, I'd ask you to put that in. I'd ask you to give me the exact answer and then give me this answer. But because it's not a paper test, I can't do that because we don't have the pi symbol on the Google Forms. Okay? So you're going to find your exact answer, like the first one I've highlighted. You're going to plug that into your calculator using the pi button. Then you're going to round to the nearest tenth. Okay? Make sure you are accurate. Let's move on to the second one. So again, this is the same idea. So let's see what we got here. In this case, I've got two figures. I've got this prism and this cylinder, and I need to find their surface area. So I'm going to go find the surface area of the prism, right, the top part. So in order to find that, that is the surface area of a prism. Well, the lateral area, I think you'd agree. So that is just a reminder. We're talking about the sides. Okay, so the lateral area, that is the perimeter times the height, but then I'm going to add the two bases, right? So there's a base here on top and a base here on bottom. I know that may not have been precise, but plus the two bases. I do recognize, right, that this circle right here is being removed, but it's also being put back here, so it doesn't matter. I can kind of ignore that piece. I hope that makes sense to you. Again, this is not really a teaching lesson on this one. Okay. So let's go and do that. So the perimeter, since it is so the top is a square, it's 2 by 2, which means the perimeter is 8. The height is 0.5. Okay, so that gives me the lateral area. But then to that, I'm going to add the bases, right? The top and the bottom. So that is 2 squares, and that is, there's 2 of them, and each one is 2 by 2. So we get 4 plus 8, or 12. By the way, don't include units, okay? Please do not include units. I know it's a little bit different than I've asked you to do before, but I'm only when you're putting in answers into your quiz into your quiz, I just want the numbers themselves, no units, because dealing with units is a little bit hard in this format. Okay, so again, just give me the number, don't give me the units. So let's see here. What do we got? That was the prism. I need to find the cylinder. Okay, so for the cylinder, what do we got here? So this the surface area of a cylinder is going to be 2 pi RH, 2 pi RH. Now I want to remind you, in this case, I'm not looking at the bases. I can ignore the bases in this specific case because, just one more time, because this one is removed from the square, but this one is added from the square, so they cancel each other out. So I can just kind of I can ignore those bases. So let's go find the surface area of that cylinder. So it is 2 pi. R is, so the diameter is 1, so R is 1/2, and H is 2. So we get 2 times 2 is 4, times 1/2 is 2, so this becomes 2 pi. So my total is going to be 12 plus 2 pi. That's my exact value. So remember, now it's time for me to plug this into my calculator using, I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, using the pi button. When I'm finished, I get 18 point, I'm not going to go out as far as my calculator goes, but I'll go out to here, okay? I get this, but remember I'm asking you to round to the nearest tenth, so this would be 18.3, okay? Again, don't include units. Make sure you are rounding to the nearest tenth, okay? You are being as precise as the question asks for. And that is the practice quiz on the Google Classroom.